So I'm going to invite Christina Maxwell up from the Food Bank Farm, who's going to lead us into the small group breakouts.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everybody. I'm Christina Maxwell. I'm from the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts, and I'm really pleased to be here today to listen to this really fascinating conversation. So I want to encourage you to pay very close attention for the next few minutes, because what we're going to do is set up like the next hour and a half worth of activity. And then after that, you'll have an opportunity to get up, stretch your legs, get coffee, water, use the restroom, whatever. So just hang in for a little while more, and then we'll have a chance to move around. So what we're going to do now is move into small groups, and each of those groups is going to have a little bit of a focus area and is going to have within it a facilitator and a few people that we're calling resource people. So I'm going to explain a little bit more how that's going to work. So first we're going to move into the groups, which are going to be starting off around this room, and then once the groups form, you can decide if you want to move to another area of the building or go outside or sit down at a table or whatever you'd like to do. But for the moment, we'll just be meeting around the perimeter of this room. Each group, as I said, is going to have a facilitator and resource people. The facilitator is simply going to encourage everybody in that group to introduce themselves, so that you know who's there with you, and they'll introduce the resource people, who are folks who are working in the topic area which is being addressed in that particular group. Some of them are the panelists that we heard from earlier, some of them are others of us who are in the room right now. Now, it's important to understand that those resource people are not providing presentations. So in some past years at forums, we've broken down and there have been small presentations, and that's not really what we're doing here. This is more of an opportunity for people to talk with each other, maybe make connections with people who share an interest or have a similar question that you might have, and it's a time for you to network and talk amongst each other. So there won't be any formal presentations, but the resource people are there to answer questions or maybe ask some questions and provide some information in that context. So what I'm going to do now is ask the resource people to come up. That's going to be quite a group. If you can come up, we're going to go through each group, and they're going to very briefly introduce themselves and the topic that they'll be talking about, and then identify where in the room they will be meeting. So we've got 8 groups. So you should listen to each of the groups and kind of figure out which one you'd like to go to. So if all the resource people could come up to the front right now, that would be great. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, these are listed on your program, by the way. We're going to talk for a moment about worker cooperatives, and we've come up with a few questions. And these are strictly meant as sort of context setting, maybe get the juices flowing a little bit. You might have other questions that you would prefer to ask and talk about, and that's terrific. These are merely just questions that the planning group thought of. So the first one for worker cooperatives is, in what ways do worker-owned co-ops address economic and equity issues for local food system workers?
Okay, so it looks like this group is going to meet at the first orange flag right over in the corner here. I'm Addie Holland from Real Pickles, so I will have some things to say about Real Pickles. And we're a worker-owned cooperative.
Kind of know my deal already. I work with a lot of different co-op organizations, so I'll be able to tie in a broader perspective and focusing in on the worker co-op angle.
The next group is going to discuss immigrant reform, and the question we've got is, how can local food businesses be allies to immigrant workers in the local food system? Why is immigration reform important to local food businesses, farm workers, and our communities at large?
Hi, I'm Bliss Requa-Trautz. I'm an organizer with Just Communities, and I think one of the points that we would like to make today is to open that conversation to the ways that farms And the local sustainable agriculture really does have a shared issue and potential shared benefits by working on local immigration reforms in the state of Massachusetts, and be happy to talk about some of the national themes as well, but looking at Massachusetts as an area where we have capacity to make some systemic change.
Okay, our third group is going to discuss restaurant worker organizing. And the question here is, what is the current state of working conditions for restaurant workers in Northampton? What can food service businesses prioritizing sourcing local food learn about creating fair wage jobs?
Hi, I'm Clare Hammonds. I work at the UMass Amherst Labor Center, and we're going to be talking a little bit about some research we've been doing, looking really at the other end of the food chain in terms of looking at the people who actually serve our food, and trying to think about what some of the connections are to really bring good jobs to them.
And hello, my name is Rose Bookbinder. I'm an organizer with Western Mass Jobs with Justice and the newly launched Pioneer Valley Workers Center, where we're exploring some of these larger issues in terms of the whole food system, but specifically, as Claire mentioned, this research that we've explored, and this is sort of our first conference where we're going to be announcing some of the results from that research. So thanks for having us here.
And they'll be over at the third orange sign that's sort of in the middle of that side of the room. Get out of the spotlight here. Okay, so our next topic will be job training. What are the important considerations in training local food system workers?
Hi, I'm Christine Burns, and I'm the Director of Development at Providence Ministries, and I'm here representing foodWorks. And it's a culinary training program for men and women with barriers to employment, and that's a lot of different barriers, and we'll be talking more about that.
Hello, I'm Ryan Karb. I work for Many Hands Farm Corps. We have a pretty intensive but also extensive impact of an internship that helps provide labor for over a dozen farms in the valley, and we work with a lot of people who have never worked on farms before, so dealing with a lot of basic needs for people who've never done it before.
Okay, great. Our next group is going to be, that group is going to be back where Abby is standing and pointing, because evidently we don't have enough bamboo poles. So thanks, Abby. Okay, our next group is going to be discussing local food union jobs. What role can unions play in local food system work and the viability of the local food system businesses?
Hi, my name is Brendan Carey, and I'm the lead organizer with Unite Here, the New England Joint Board. And so we're going to talk about a few recent local victories in unionizing different college cafeterias, and also about, as we start to, bring more local food and do a lot more food preparation in the kitchen, how to keep those jobs good jobs and not just have that equal more work for the same pay, and really make these jobs really good, sustainable jobs.
I'm Allred, Union Steward for UFCW. I'm happy to answer questions and to share experience from our unionization process.
Thanks. And that group will be in the far back corner on this side of the room. Our next group is going to be community-based food job creation. What options do communities have for local food system job creation?
So I'm Emily Kawano, and Fred Rose is here too. We're with a Wellspring cooperative initiative. We're working to create a network of worker-owned businesses in Springfield. And what the business that's in the pipeline is a hydroponic greenhouse.
Erbin Crowell again. We'll talk a little bit about how food co-ops have used their buying power to basically help new businesses get off the ground and grow, as well as some of the areas we're seeing for growth in food co-ops and the jobs within those co-ops.
I'm Risley Schroeder with the Mass Workforce Alliance, and we're a workforce development group that realized that in order to actually have jobs for folks to fill, we had to lean in and help create them. So we'll talk about that perspective.
Okay, and that group is going to meet also in the back corner. Okay, our next group is youth jobs. What is unique about engaging youth in local food system work?
My name is Andy Grant. I do outreach for Just Roots. We're a nonprofit serving Franklin County, concerned with increasing access to healthy local food. The Greenfield Community Farm is the centerpiece of our work, and on the farm we have apprentices and interns. This year we're offering 6 intern slots, unpaid college credit intern positions. So we'd be happy to talk about that.
Hello, I'm Donna Dussel. I work for the Franklin Hampshire Regional Employment Board, and I am the School to Career Coordinator for Franklin County. I also do work in Hampshire County in the North Quabbin. And I am interested in youth unemployment, which is at a very high rate right now, and the impact that that has on the future of these youth and also on our society. So I also am working with Just Roots, and we do have a high school internship program that happens there over the summer. We are interested in engaging youth in agricultural career pathways and food systems career pathways, as it is a priority industry for the Regional Employment Board. And I'm also here to gather resources as well as be a resource as much as possible.
Good morning. Ibrahim Ali, Youth and Project Director for Garden in the Community in Springfield, Massachusetts. We're an urban-based urban agriculture program that's running, does a lot of work with youth. I think one of the issues that I definitely like to speak on and talk about is the fact that we went from one extreme of youth doing extremely hard, difficult labor to now they're like almost untouchable. So, trying to figure out what is the best kind of medium between those two extremes is something that I'm very interested in doing. And young people, particularly in Springfield, have a hard issues around employment. So that's another issue that we could probably discuss. Thank you.
Okay, and last but certainly not least, farm jobs and farm work. What makes up farm work and who are doing these jobs? How do you walk the line between producing quality food that is affordable while also creating jobs that are valued and respected?
Yes, that's what I'm going to be talking about, but also to inject some other things into the conversation, that for people who are looking maybe for farm workers to help them harvest their crop, or to help them put gardens together, or to help them in a way that they would be looking for skilled laborers or people who are really versed in plant and agriculture, that's another avenue that they can also be employed. If you have groups or families who want to start a backyard garden, these people will be willing to come over and help them start it for nominal fee of some kind.
Okay, and that final group, hopefully Dave Jackson will be able to join, but he may need to leave, so it's not sure, but for sure Glenroy will be there, and that group will be meeting in that far back corner. So in just a minute, not right yet, I'm going to have you get up, find the group that you're most interested in going to. The facilitators are going to lead you in a round of introductions, and then this is really open networking and discussion time for you. So either stay in the group that you originally went to, or if that conversation isn't working for you, go find another group that might fit your needs better. We're going to come back here together at 12:15 for some closing, and then after that we'll have lunch. All right, enjoy. Thank you.